Hi there, and welcome to this video where I'll be showing you how to import data from a Google Sheet into Streak. To have a successful import, there's a couple different steps that you're going to want to follow. The first is the setup process. Second, cleaning your actual data. And third, executing the actual import. The setup process begins in your Gmail, where after you've downloaded the Streak extension, you're going to want to select a pipeline that you want to import your data into. You, of course, have existing pipeline options, but if you did want to import into a brand new pipeline, you can always press this cross button and then create a new pipeline from one of our templates. Now, once you're inside a pipeline, you then want to press the three-dot icon that's on the top right and select Import, which will then take you to a screen that's connected to your Google Drive, and either type in the name of a sheet that you want to import from or choose one of the options that are available. I'm going to select Client Data File number 4. Now, the final step of the setup process is to actually download the Streak CRM importer. I've already previously done so, and so you'll notice that something will appear on the right. But for all of you folks watching this video, what you're going to want to do is press Add-ons, then Get Add-ons, and finally type in Streak Importer. And once you do so, you'll have this option, Streak CRM Importer, where you can download for free. Again, I have already previously done so, but it will have the blue button similar to this item here below. Once you do so, it should take just a few minutes to update. The second step of the process for a successful import is to make sure that your data is as clean and consistent as possible with the pipelines. So I'm going to go into this raw data set that I have available, and this is something that, these are the data points or the information that I want to put inside my new pipeline. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, of course, have the column names that closely or exactly match the names that are available in the column headers in your pipeline, and of course the data itself. A couple pro tips or a couple key things to remember in order to keep these things clean is first, the name itself doesn't have to match exactly, but I would recommend to keep it close so that you know what you're linking later in the process. The second thing is that any column that you want to import over from this sheet into our pipeline, you just need to make sure that there is one that actually exists. For example, name and stage do already exist inside my pipeline, but something like previous relationship and the yes/no options I have tracked are not as an option yet. So what you want to do is, name and stage is here, you want to create a new column for that particular data point you want to track, which is previous relationship. You can use any one of types of our columns, freeform, which is any text number, date, pretty self-explanatory. I, in this case, would recommend a drop-down because we've had recurring options, yes, no, and drop-down allows you to be able to have those options readily available. So I'm going to type in previous relationship or just relation. You'll notice that, again, it doesn't have to match exactly, and I have now had that consistent. The only other things or things I want to highlight to make sure your data is clean is to note the email and the stage column if you have one. So any emails that you want to transfer over, you need to make sure that the cells actually have a legitimate email. If it's blank, if it has a URL, or if it's just text, it won't successfully import over. I recommend either finding the right email or putting some kind of a placeholder email, maybe placeholder@gmail.com for the interim. The other thing is that for all of these data points, it's going to import directly into the first stage of your pipeline unless you specify some stage that you want to put your data into, such as contacted or qualified. If you wish to do so, that's fine. The only thing is you need to make sure that either the name or the name of the stage matches exactly. I don't have a lead stage in my pipeline, so I need to update this new to lead. Or I can, again, update this or create a stage for two-way so that it matches. And now I'm going to go into my clean data set and what it should look like ideally. All of the emails are there. This has already been set up. And I've updated lead and also created a stage in my pipeline that says two ways. Once you've cleaned your data and you have that basic setup ready to go, the final step is actually executing the import. To do so, go ahead and press add-ons and then select starting import from the Streak CRM importer selection. What you'll notice is that this bar on the right will appear, and it's a couple pretty easy steps. For me, I've already done an import previously, and so I actually need to go back a little bit. But what will occur is it'll start you from the very first step, step 1. Once you do so, select a pipeline that you want to import into. I have been inside of sales-importing exclamation, and so I'll be selecting that. The next step is to link the columns. In this case, it's already linked most of the columns for me, which is really great because the name is exact. But if the name isn't exact, what you can do is previous relationship should link to previous relation. So I press the drop down and then find previous relationship, and then you'll notice that it'll update and it will be linked successfully. So that's step 3, but in step 4 is where you want to link contact information. So an item like email, you're going to want to put it inside of the email section here, and if you have a phone number or anything else that's related to contact information, you want to keep it in step 4. Once you've completed so, continue on with anything else you want to add. I actually don't want to transfer notes, so I'm going to put do not import, and you can go ahead and skip any stages that aren't applicable, such as the organization column. And what you want to do is, in the advanced options, if this is a first-time import, I would recommend usually ignoring header row and creating missing field option and updating existing box. It doesn't really matter, but I'll just select that for now. Press next, and our system will check for errors. And the great thing is that because you've cleaned your data, there's no errors to be found. So once you select Start Import, it usually takes a couple minutes depending on how much data you're trying to import, but once it's complete, it'll give you kind of where it is in the process, and it should say something like successful or complete once it's done, which, oh, look at that, it's done. We can now go into our pipeline and see that all the data has been successfully imported over. Now, that's how you conduct this Streak import. If you do have questions or a more particular use case or something unusual going on, our team here at Streak would be happy to assist you. So feel free to reach out. But with that, hope this was helpful and have a wonderful rest of your day.